Camera 3 and cue red X.
4,
Cue replay on Y.
2,
Take camera
1.
7.
It's your first road start for your freshman quarterback, Kevin Hogan. What have you done this week to help him prepare for this moment?
Well, we've made some subtle adjustments, but for us, we're not going to change anything wholesale. You know, the things that he's good at, things that we've worked on that we want to be good at, we're going to call him and run him.
Oregon leads the nation in scoring. You guys have the best rushing defense. In your mind, what's the key to really limiting their explosive plays?
Well, the biggest open field tackling. We got to tackle him in space.
Coach, thank you.
Shaw and Stanford won the toss. They did not defer. They want the football. They want Stephon Taylor and this offensive line to go to work against the Duck defense to find out who's healthy and who's not here tonight. Underway in Eugene. Fielded back at the goal line by Redmond Wright. Redmond with a big alley. Still going. And Redmond to the 35 with a fine return. And now that youngster that we've talked about, Herbie, Kevin Hogan, and he's a redshirt freshman from McLean, Virginia, back in the Washington, D.C. area.
Love to see a head coach with a first-time starter on the road, and Kevin Hogan win the toss and say, Kevin, we believe in you. We're going to take the football, show the confidence that we have in you in this offensive line in this running game. As you said, they've got to be able to run the ball, try to take some of the pressure off of young Kevin Hogan. Give him some easy passes as well here early.
He's a big fella, 6'4", 224 pounds. Outstanding running back alongside him and Stephon Taylor. Right away on first down, there's a high percentage throw to Terrell, and Terrell picks up a first down on the first play of the game, Herbie, as we take a look at tonight's impact players, brought to you by Avis.
Well, Stephon Taylor is going to have to take some of the pressure off of the young quarterback. Zak Ertz, 86, tight end. They'll flex him out as a receiver. They want to try to isolate him and get him one-on-one. We talked about Chase Thomas's leadership. And Ed Reynolds has become a ball hawk in the secondary. He's a young player, 5 interceptions on the year. He's communicating back there, the quarterback of the secondary for the Cardinal.
And it's a wildcat. Direct snap to Stephon. Stephon picks up about a yard. Second and long. Hogan, who's mobile, throws to the outside. And that was complete to Zak Ertz, his outstanding tight end. He had a career day last week with 9 catches for 75 yards and 1 touchdown.
Eric Gargan there to make the tackle. Gargan 4 is in, of course, for Avery Patterson, who was lost for the year last week against Cal towards ACL. John Boyette lost earlier. So they have a bit of a depleted bunch in the back end. Eric Gargan's going to have to step up big tonight.
The first third down of the game for Stanford. And it's 3rd and 4. The rain coming down again here in Eugene. And sacked.
Walked him up, Brent, as an outside linebacker, essentially putting him out here to utilize his speed. And I'll tell you, he does a heck of a job getting around with a spin move. David Yankee, who's one of the better offensive linemen in the Pac-12, that is a good sign for this Oregon defense.
Our first sighting of DeAnthony Thomas as Zeklinski is back to punt it. Let's see what they do with number 6. They're going to try to keep it away from it. It'll be short and out of bounds, and why not? Give it to Oregon at the 25 rather than risk a chance. Number 6 going the distance. And now the young man from Honolulu's St. Louis High School, Marcus Mariota. And what a start he has had to his Oregon career when you look at those numbers, Herbie.
Yep, 6'4", 196 pounds, and just in complete command of this offense. Tonight, I think it's his arm is going to have to be on display for the Ducks offense.
Standing tall, completes the first pass against the secondary, and that was Lowe. Lowe making the first catch last week. Had a couple catches for 20 yards. He's a sophomore from Portland's Jesuit High School, and he's become a bit of a factor here in this offense this year. 2nd down and 4, and here's Kenyon Barner. Barner is stopped short of that first down by the Stanford D, so Stanford puts him in 3rd down right away, but it's a very manageable 3rd down.
And these linebackers are active, and they are going to have to be, especially against the run.
There they go without the huddle. The up-tempo quick throw to DeAnthony Thomas on the outside. Got the first down and pushed out of bounds by Thomas. The linebacker, number 44, pushing number 6 out of bounds. He's so dangerous every time he touches the ball.
Tempo is always a factor, always something you try to prepare for. Stanford has worked their entire offseason on trying to get faster and better at tackling in space. It's all been building for this game to see how far they've come in that area.
Josh Huff in from the Oregon sideline as one of the receivers. Option look now with Mariota keeping it, and he is thrown for a loss. It was read very well that time.
Option play all the way to the sideline. Mariota didn't have anything to do, but eventually just give up on the play and just cut his losses here for a 4-yard loss.
I think on the 2nd and long, Mariota spins away, but this is 3rd and 10, and this is what the Stanford defense, they'll settle for that all game long. As Shane Scove, who missed last season with that injury, comes up and makes his stop. So the defense of Stanford makes its presence felt right away.
Yep, doing a good job of being able to contain the run game up to this point. Now they lead the nation in sacks, so 3rd down and long. This is where they like to dial up their pressure.
They put 3 down. Marcus on the move looking for a receiver, but he's got a long ways to run, remember, so he's still looking for a target. Sideline, out of bounds, has to throw it. That's a win for the Stanford defense on this series, no question about it.
You can also see the receivers trying to work to get into this area, but watch the coverage. I mean, he has nowhere to go. He rolls away from the pressure. The receivers are trying to work to get open, but all you see are white jerseys, and the freshman just had to throw it away.
High snap. Jackson Rice pulls it down. Terrell is back deep. Going to let it go. Takes a Stanford bounce, and it'll be down round about the 29-yard line. Ryan Hewitt is the fullback as they go to the power I with 2 tight ends. And Taylor is thrown back for a loss at the 27-yard line. And breaking in is Michael Clay.
Michael Clay is one of the more active linebackers you're going to see in the country. One of the more instinctive linebackers, 46. Nick Aliotti calls him the glue of this defense. He's been around a long time, and that time he's able to locate the ball carrier and make the play.
Hogan is back, trying to scramble out and drops it off as he was going down. A beautiful save to Ertz that time.
Brent, this is what he brings to the table, is the mobility. This is what was missing from this offense. You see Hart looks like he has him wrapped up, but the young freshman doesn't give up on the play, keeps it alive, and gives them a chance here on 3rd down.
He's looking at a 3rd and 5 right now, back in the gun. Finds the middle. Terrell off to a good start. Cross close to the midfield marker, I should say. Out to the 48-yard line for a 1st down.
Brent, they brought the linebackers and vacated a zone. Good job by the offensive line picking it up, protecting the young freshman. He's able to locate his open man, Terrell, and that's a 1st down and a big one to the Cardinals.
You can see the Ducks walking pressure up with the linebackers. And they run Stephon Taylor. Outstanding run for 12 yards and a 1st down.
Great block here by the big fullback Ryan Hewitt. Just opens this up. Keep your eye on 85. Going up against Michael Clay. He locks in on him. He's able to make a nice block. It frees up Stephon Taylor. And when Hewitt's making blocks like that, giving this back Taylor enough room, that's big yards for the Cardinal.
1st down and 10 at the 40-yard line now for Kevin Hogan. Hands off to Taylor, and he's thrown for a loss. There is a penalty flag, so they'll bring it back to the other side of the 50.
Offense number 76, 15-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
See this, Alex Balducci, 56, is already engaged with the center, and then right there he undercuts him. It's a very dangerous block, and really a drive, potential something that could affect this drive. They got to get all the way back to 1st and 25.
Wide receiver screen. Patterson, and the Ducks were ready for it. So the other fine tight end for Stanford, Toilolo, brings the play in from the sideline. 2nd and 23. draw play. Taylor picks his way.
Every single time Taylor's going to get his hands on the football, he's going to see Clay and Alonzo.
And Herbie, the Cardinal without Anthony Wilkerson here tonight. He did not make the trip. So Stephon Taylor, who's number 1, Wilkerson number 2. Taylor's going to get a real full load here tonight. Ricky Seal and Redmond White are behind him. So here's your 3rd and 19. There is the escapability. He's going to take off, and this will still leave them with a 4th and 5 at the 35-yard line.
Brent, this is, again, part of the learning process, but when he scrambles, his receiver, Patterson, actually is able to escape the defender. This is what he does. This is what he's able to do. Keep the play alive. Look at the receiver get downfield. He sneaks behind the coverage, and if he was able to locate that, that might have been a touchdown for the Cardinal there on 3rd and long.
So Zaklinski back into punt again. Hangs this one high, and it's going to be down inside the 10. So that was a very well-placed punt. Will have to drive the long way if they expect to get on the scoreboard. But they've got the talent to do just that when you come back. That was quite a road trip for our ESPN college football bus from Boston to Eugene. 3,122 miles, and let's thank the hard work of the drivers and the fellows who moved all the equipment. Stanley Pearson, Glenn Wyatt, Sean Harmon, and Matt Pohl. We want to thank them for getting here in plenty of time. Mariota back, and he takes off, and there's his scrambling ability. Out to the 35, breaks free. He's got great speed on that far sideline. One man to stop him, and he is brought down by Carrington. So one of the Stanford safeties able to get back and save a touchdown.
This gives you an idea of what kind of speed this young man has. You think he might just go out of bounds. He's a quarterback, but no. He's thinking about taking it to the house, and if DeAnthony Thomas just turns around, I think he's trying to race Mariota to the goal line, but if he turned around, he would have been able to pick up a block.
So after 77 yards, flashes the pass to the outside for 7 more quickly as they come up and hit Will Murphy for the first time tonight.
Here comes the tempo. They get inside his 15-yard line. They're snapping it as fast as they can.
There they split the tackles out wide. Practice this all week. Read the defense. Throw the screen to DeAnthony Thomas out of bounds.
Called him down right where he made the catch at the 12-yard line. His right knee may have gone down as he tried to catch that low throw from Mariota. Trying to hurry. He tries to make this catch. He does. The right knee is down. It's a good call by the officials.
So it'll be 2nd down. Now this will make it 3rd down. So they absolutely good call by the official over there, Harvey, on that play to bring up now 3rd down for the Ducks. It's 3rd down and 6. DeAnthony just a little bit short of the 1st down marker, and so here comes the 4th down, and you know what he tends to do in these situations. Go for it on 4th down. Here we come. There's the signal to Marcus, ready to pull the trigger. Keeps it himself, and he's not going to get it. Stanford football, the gamble fails. What a play, and what a stand by the Cardinal defense after the 77-yard run by Mariota.
Watch Josh Morrow come down. That's the read. He pulls it, but what a play by Shane Skov. They practiced this all week with Derek Mason. The dive read was taken. He pulled it out, and Skov is there to save the day for the Stanford defense.
The Ducks and the Cardinal are scoreless. Baylor leads Kansas State 14-7. Notre Dame has already won, and Irish fans are all eyes tonight watching those 2 games. Here's Taylor of Stanford after the goal line stand, and he is thrown backwards.
Right now, Kiko Alonso, Michael Clay are just attacking downhill at the linebacker spot, trying to stop Stephon Taylor. They know with a young quarterback, chances are you're going to see him running the ball, and that time David Yankee pulling around. He couldn't even really get started because the linebackers are coming downhill so fast to stop this Stanford running game.
You saw Eric Dargan, number 4. His hands are full. He's the 3rd man out at that safety position. Hogan, quick snap throw for a first down. How impressive is this young man with the start to this football game? I mean, this looked like a veteran throw right here.
It sure did. And look how he puts it right where Zak Ertz wants the football. Right in front of him. Protects the football, uses his hands, and gets it across the first down marker. Great job. And again, the poise. We wanted to see Hogan in this environment as a young player. So far, he is keeping his composure, making good reads for the Stanford offense.
Kelsey Young will be the first back to replace Taylor. They swing it to him, and Kelsey's got another first in space. Out to the 43-yard line, and Jackson hauls him down.
We're so used to seeing Taylor back there, but when you see Young get his hands on the ball, and this showed up all week in film, he's got a different gear. We're used to seeing the Oregon Ducks get out in space and what they can do, but Young gives them that look as a freshman. He can accelerate in a hurry upfield, and all of a sudden the Cardinals were backed up inside their own 10. Now they're close to midfield.
Because of that 24-yard pass to Young. Now Taylor is back as the running back. He'll get the call. Big hole on the left side, and another first down as they barge into Oregon territory after that goal line stand.
And Oregon getting some of their own medicine. All of a sudden, Stanford is coming back with a counter punch. Kevin Dancer leading the way around. You're going to see a lot of linemen polling for Mike Bloomgren's offensive line, one of the most disciplined offensive lines in the country. These guys have really established a persona up front as an offensive line. They lost 2 to the NFL last year, and they really picked up where that group left off a year ago.
Hogan is 7 of 7 throwing the ball. And from the pistol look, he's going to throw for the 8th time, and he is now 8 of 8. The clicker's busy, Robert. We're scoreless here in Eugene. Second down and 8 for Stanford. Here comes Stephon Taylor, perhaps the most underrated running back in the country. That's right. That's what Stephon has accomplished. We've all heard about Kenyon Varner, a Heisman candidate. But look at that young man from Stanford over on the left-hand side. Believe me, Sunday football is paying attention to the senior from Mansfield, Texas. It's 3rd and 5 now. Standing tall, still perfect. Another first down as he hits Ryan Hewitt, the fullback. How about this start for Kevin Hogan?
And let's give an assist to this offensive line. David Yankee that time locks in at the left tackle spot. Look at the protection on 3rd down and long. Deion Jordan, one of the best pass rushers you'll see in the Pac-12. Yankee locked him up there on the left side, giving Hogan plenty of room to be able to operate from that pocket. Right now, Hogan is in a zone, and the coaches have done a really nice job of putting him there with the play calling and the designs of their pass plays.
We got Taylor on first down, barges into the middle, and he picks up 8 yards. Let's check it down below now with Heather Cox. Heather?
Brent, before the game, David Shaw told me he didn't see any signs of nerves, anxiousness, or apprehension in his quarterback. And this isn't a guy who shows a lot of emotion, but his teammates say it is there. They have a mantra that is, don't get emotionally hijacked. And center Sam Schwartzstein said Hogan's the king of that, saying Kevin won't even take his helmet off on the sidelines. He's an unbelievably fierce competitor. In fact, David Shaw told me he has never seen Hogan without his helmet off during a game.
And he is right in the thick of things now. There's 2nd down and 2. Play action, looking deep. Going toward the end zone, triple coverage, dangerous throw right there. He threw into 3 Duck defenders that time. Toilolo, the tight end, was the target.
And that's when a young quarterback predetermines what he wants to do with the ball. He knew within kind of a goal line package, they've got 3 tight ends in the game, that he's thinking that on 2nd and short, Oregon's anticipating run. They're actually looking forward to the play action pass. And instead of just checking that down to Taylor in the left flat, who was all alone, he predetermined that he wanted to try to get the ball to Toilolo there in the corner.
So now it is 3rd down and 2 following Hogan's first incompletion of the night. Hogan, receiver covered, in trouble, spins back, throws to a safety valve for a first end. First and 10 as Ryan Hewitt, the fullback, is on the other side. Hogan, Herbie was looking downfield. His man was completely covered.
You know, Andrew Luck is sitting somewhere tonight in the hotel watching this game, and he's just tickled to death to watch his quarterback work some of his magic. He starts to look like Houdini a little bit. He's going to scramble to his left. He comes back to his right, and who's waiting there is Ryan Hewitt to make another big catch for Kevin Hogan. Pretty good start.
First down and 10 for Hogan. Ducks show pressure, play action. Hogan with that strength stays up, complete. It'll be second. It's a story involving the Oregon Ducks because for the first time this season, they have failed to score in the opening quarter. As a matter of fact, in their previous first quarter, they have put up a total of 190 points in those 10 games. Now it is second down and 10 for Stanford.
Stanford coaches talked all week about getting into the red zone and not settling for field goals. They want touchdowns down in this area.
Play action. Hogan, who's been tough to bring down, drops it in underneath to Zak Ertz.
So what they do with Taylor, he keeps his play alive. He baits Jackson to him, or Washington to him, and then dumps it down to Ertz.
Now here comes the jumbo look. Here comes the tight ends and the extra tackle. This drive started back on their own 7-yard line. It'll be third down and 3 with one wide. White is into the backfield. Keeps it. First down, Kevin Hogan.
Again, we're going to talk all night about what Hogan can do. He can throw it, but the fact that he can bring a play like this and be able to pull it out of there and come off of Wright. Wright is the guy that you're going to see coming in for Taylor from time to time. He pulls that out of there. The defense collapses down, and he shows you again enough of the leg strength to get the first down.
Now Stefan is back into the game. He'll line up behind Hogan and Hewitt, the fullback. First down and goal. Stefan cuts back beautifully to the 1-yard line, and it'll be second down and goal from there for the Cardinals. So it'll be second down and goal. Taylor, the go-to running back. Play action. Hogan looking to throw. Keeps it. Busts a tackle. Dives. Touchdown. Stanford. Kevin Hogan, the first to score here tonight in Eugene.
This kid is off to a great start for Stanford, and what they looked to him and what they tried to plan all week. Second down, the confidence. He's trying to find Zak Ertz in the back of the end zone. Knows when to abort it, come off of it, and then utilize again the athletic ability with the linebackers cleared out of there and gets it across that goal line.
Jordan Williamson to attempt the extra point. Zaklinski, the punter, and Holder put it down, and it is, I don't know who's happier right now. I don't know. Stanford fans or Notre Dame fans. I can't tell. We had a penalty.
On the receiving team, 15-yard penalty will be enforced.
Unsportsmanlike conduct is going to be the call because of the head coach, Chip Kelly, on the far sideline while you were away. He was very upset with this officiating crew, and he continued the debate. The referee, he's complaining that an illegal lineman was downfield for Stanford. So the penalty will move the ball to midfield for this kickoff. The kickoff will go out of the back of the end zone.
Well, the Stanford defense off to a great start in the first quarter. Brett mentioned how they were able to hold them scoreless. It was a couple big plays early. Shane Scove has been all over this field. They're in the open field, being able to make a play against Mariota. And then on fourth down, we saw Josh Morrow collapse down, took the running back. Quarterback Mariota keeps it, and there's Scove again on fourth down that eventually got the ball back to Stanford and opened up that drive where we just saw put the touchdown up on the board.
Now that's what they accomplished coming in to this game. Rush defense, remember tonight, they have given up a 77-yard run to Mariota, the Oregon quarterback. He hands it off this time to Kenyon Banner. Look at Scove, the second man in on that play. Look at him jump to it and read that play. What a good-looking linebacker.
Brent, he has not had the kind of year that they were hoping coming off the ACL from a year ago. But right now, really, the defensive line is occupying the Oregon blockers. They're not letting them get to the second level, and it's freeing up Shane Scove to be active and all over the field.
Second down. Mariota in the pocket, trying to run out of trouble, still trying to find an open target, couldn't, and threw it away. And now we'll come to 3rd down and 10 against this Stanford D. Here's the 3rd down snap. Huff. 1st down, and a penalty afterwards. The line judge threw the flag.
Talk about an arm strength from Marcus Mariota. He's from one hash all the way close to the numbers at the bottom of the screen. 3rd down and long, he had to put that right on the money and throw it on time, and he was able to do it.
After the play, personal foul. Defense, number 6. 15-yard penalty will be enforced to the end of the play. 1st down.
That's the corner, Terrence Brown.
Towards the end of the play, gets his hands up into the face. Huff already has the 1st down. Brown's just trying to be aggressive, but gets his hands up too high in Huff's face.
I'll say to that. 1st down and 10. Mariota with an option. Here's Barner. Thomas stretches him outside, and down goes Barner on that play, who has not been able to find daylight. A.J. Tarpley, 13 now. Herbie, they're keeping him in 2nd, 3rd, and long.
Winning so 1st down. That was their goal. They had to win 1st and 10 tonight.
Thomas creeping in. Barner bangs into the middle, and this will still be 3rd down and long as Anderson makes a stop. 3rd down and 9. Mariota throws far side, out of bounds.
One way to stop this Oregon offense is if you have success. That ball's thrown on the money. Is just maybe thrown a little bit too hard there for Lowe to be able to secure the football. But you get him those 3rd and longs, and you've got a shot.
Terrell back deep. Beautiful punt. Bluffs the fair catch, and it'll roll into the end zone and come out on the 20-yard line. Well, it can't come to Eugene without talking about one of my favorite comedies, Animal House, which was filmed right here at Oregon. The scenes at Dean Wormer's office were shot in the office of University President William P. Boyd. And folks, we got a story regarding the Stanford band. Double secret probation. Oh, look at this, Herbie. Look what we've got. All right. I've got the iPad, and we're keeping an eye on this Baylor Kansas State game right here, huh? 14-7 it says right here. You've been, huh?
You got your Watch ESPN app.
You got to move quickly. You're watching.
Right? Baylor's up on Kansas State.
That's right.
Stanford is up on Oregon.
Right.
SEC fans are pretty happy right now,
yes, they are. If 2 of them lose, you know.
Yeah.
Now here's a handoff now to Taylor, thrown back, ripped down by Coach Alioti's defense here.
The freshman Eric Armstead gets in there, and this is what Oregon's tried to enforce all week, is just trying to get penetration. As much as Stanford pulls their linemen, they open up some seams to this offensive line, and Armstead is a true freshman, 6'8", 280 pounds out of Sacramento. That time he made a heck of a play.
Second and 13, and a bad throw that time. Listen to this Autzen crowd. They're trying to lift up their Ducks. Stephon Taylor, high stepping, 25, and close to that 1st down marker, but didn't get there. And I'm sure that David Shaw will send the punting team out.
Pretty good effort there on 3rd and 13.
You know, I want to talk a little bit about Coach Shaw. You know, his daddy was an outstanding coach in the National Football League, and Shaw spent many years in the NFL as an assistant. A lot of talk about Chip Kelly and some fellows. I'm going to tell you right now that a sleeper as far as an NFL head coach is concerned is David Shaw. I've been very impressed when I've been around him, and he runs that power football that the Sunday fellows like. Oh, the return man let it go over his head back to the 12-yard. DeAnthony should have stepped up and at least made the fair catch on that punt. We'll take a look at the Pacific Life game summary. And Herbie, as we look at the stats so far, what stat jumps off that page at you?
Well, if you look at the bottom, Oregon would tell you it's no big deal that Stanford has nearly a 10-minute time of possession advantage. But the way I'm watching this game right now, anytime you can have Chip Kelly's offense on the sideline, that's a good thing. Something that also doesn't show up there, Stanford has 15 runs, 14 passes. Really balanced here early in the game.
That's DeAnthony Thomas motioning out. Mariota throws on first down. And out to the 34-yard line with that is Colt Lyerla, the outstanding tight end from right here in Oregon.
The fact he's from Oregon, he's a fan favorite. He's a running back in high school. Gives you an idea what he can do with the ball. Once he gets his hands on it, he's still learning the nuances of the position, but he is an outstanding receiver. Very soft hands.
Mariota hands off on the end around. Look out! DeAnthony was just a defender away from breaking the distance, but Ed Reynolds, the safety, took him down.
First time we've seen DeAnthony Thomas get to that second level, he or Barner, and have some speed and accelerating into that Stanford defense.
Reynolds is a youngster out of Florida. They come back with him again for another first down, and now a steady dose of Black Mamba.
And you can just feel it. If you've watched Oregon over the years with Chip Kelly, you know what I'm talking about. The momentum, the energy. Stanford knows that this has been coming all week. Let's see how they respond to the speed and tempo and the energy right now of Oregon's offense.
They motion him out of the backfield. Marcus fires complete to the 40-yard line, picks up 4 yards with Tarpley making the stop.
Aggressive in the inside.
Cox sends up word is raining harder than it has all night, and DeAnthony Thomas is stopped just short of the first down.
Interior of the Stanford offense and give him, or defense rather, and give him a chance to get out to that second level on the perimeter.
They stop him on third down for a loss with Henry Anderson. Big Henry Anderson. He's a redshirt sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia, and he stopped the attack, and there's no question about what Coach Kelly's going to do here. It is fourth down, but instead of fourth and 1, it's going to be 4th and 4. And Mariota and the offense, Thomas creeps up. Brings pressure incomplete. Stanford takes over. Cue the duck. Entering today, what school has the fewest 3 and outs on offense this season?
All right. We got a 1 in 120 chance here.
First down and 10. And they fire it to the outside and Kajust.
We've seen Marcus Mariota look a little bit like a freshman tonight for the first time. Here's Trent Murphy, the big outside linebacker. He's going to collapse down. What Mariota wants to do here on 4th down, look at the matchup. He's got his tight end right here going to the flat. Scove is trying to stay with him, but he feels Murphy. And because he feels Murphy, he gets rid of the ball, and the ball floats on him. We've not seen him make these kind of mistakes all year. That time on 4th down, it cost the Ducks again a first down.
Second down and 8. Hogan under pressure, steps up, takes a blow, fires deep, and incomplete.
Both linebackers fire. Lonzo Clay hits him right as he throws the football.
On 3rd and 8. Hogan fires, and if he gets a spot, there's a penalty flag.
Zak Ertz.
Holding defense.
That's first down.
10-yard penalty from the previous spot. An automatic first down.
I was going to say Zak Ertz was turning the official, indicating that somebody was holding him here on his route. He's ISO'd. Ekprelamu is locked on with him and actually grabs onto his jersey. And the official saw it, so it would have been short of the first down, but instead they get their first down. Stanford just kind of catching some breaks here on the road. A big underdog, you got to do that to be able to win.
First down and 10. Play action. Hogan looking, firing deep. Incomplete. It'll be second down. Well, Herbie, did you come up with your guess?
I've got to say Oregon.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I started the research. I thought it was going to be Oregon, but folks, look at this. Fewest 3-and-outs on offense this season, okay? Baylor. Oregon is tied for 25th. Baylor, 21. Kansas State, 7. Fewest 3-and-outs in the country.
Wow. They must not be having many tonight either.
It is amazing. I honestly thought I was going to come up with
Nick Florence.
Oregon. Here's Stephon Taylor trying to pick the daylight. What great vision he has. Picks up 8 yards. And here, Robert, 7-0. Stanford upsetting the number 2 team in the nation. The Ducks, 1 and 2 are in trouble. Notre Dame enjoying the action tonight, and so is the SEC. Taylor could not get the first down. He was ganged up on. Right is the running back. That full house look. He keeps it. Throws. Dropped. Oregon ball.
Hewitt is right here, and look at the power formation that they use, and they just slide Hewitt by. Watch the Oregon linebackers who've been collapsing all night. They go right up with the play fake, and he just short-armed it. He was so open, the easiest throw that he had all night, and he tried to be too perfect with the ball, and he ends up short-arming it, throwing it well short of Hewitt, who would have had to really make a great catch there to be able to catch that football.
Now they've come back with Barner as the running back in this formation for the Ducks. Play action. Mariota in trouble, dances away, still dancing, fires open man Huff, far side, Huff first down, and more. Still going. Barging across that 40-yard line, Josh Huff, the junior from Houston.
Watch the feet of Mariota. Very quiet feet for an athletic young quarterback. He sits in the pocket, finds his receiver.
Quickly, before the chains are even set, the Ducks come right up and bang with Barner for 9 yards. It'll be 2nd and 1. And this is what giving Oregon field position can do to you in this situation. They're challenging now, down by only 7 points. 2nd down and 1. Mariota stands in the pocket, stands tall, end zone, touchdown. Kanan Lowe, the sophomore from Portland's Jesuit High School. And the Ducks are an extra point away from a deadlock after the 4th down failed for Stanford. After every first touchdown, we've seen this. Maldonado is the kicker tonight. He'll bring everybody back together again. Jackson Rice. Deadlocked it. Ricocheted in.
Oh, call that.
Hello. Push-ups. Hasn't had much of a workout tonight.
It's been a quiet night for the Ducks so far.
Rob Beard with the ball on the tee. He'll handle the kickoffs tonight. Maldonado, the extra points. Fielded at the 1-yard line by Stanford. Young twisting and throwing out of bounds. Thrown out of bounds, I should say, but there's a penalty flag at the 18-yard line.
During the run back, holding number 24, the return team. Penalty half the distance to the goal. First down.
Brent, the most impressive thing about Mariota here is the way he ends up going through his progressions. He's going to look off to his right, and he's just almost setting it up to be able to see what happens on this play. He looks right, watch his eyes work all the way back to the left. He looked here and then eventually comes there. He hit his 4th progression for the touchdown.
All right, things are starting to move the Ducks' way now. Stanford backed up on the 10-yard line. Stephon Taylor has it taken away by Hogan. And Hogan, a strong run out to the 24-yard line. And some of you are wondering, down Stanford way, why didn't they go to a play like that instead of a pass on that 4th down? They gave the Ducks a short field, and 59 yards later, we've got a tied football game.
We'll see what they can do with these last 3 minutes. They went with a zone read to start the play. You're right, that would have been a great call on that 4th down and short. Deion Jordan collapsed down in the back. Couldn't read that time by Hogan.
Stephon Taylor behind the right side of that offensive line. Danzer and Fleming are over there.
Morgan's going to call a timeout here. See if they can maybe get the football back. it happens fast. You know, Oregon, they catch a break, bang, they put points on the board.
Aerial coverage being provided by the MetLife Blimp. See how MetLife can provide the coverage you need. MetLife, I can do this. So here we are, Herbie, the big picture tonight, and the Irish safely in the W column. Kansas State, #1, having a lot of trouble at Baylor. Now here, the Ducks have pulled even with Stanford. They're at home. That's a big comfort zone.
It sure is. And this game, it's far from over. And Stanford's doing a heck of a job. But the last 2 years, you and I have both called this game. We've seen Stanford compete in the first half, and then things get carried away in the second half. The second half, we knew all week that was going to be the key. Stanford's shown that they can compete with the Ducks for 30 minutes, but can they do it for 60?
2nd and 7, swing pass on the receiver.
Play caller
takes it away from him just at the last moment. Still running. Hard to bring down, and finally the Ducks surround him at the 29, and down goes Hogan.
Time he read the freshman DeForest Buckner. Again, zone read. It's an added wrinkle to this offense because of his athletic ability. He pulls it out, he makes the right read, and then once he gets out there, I'll tell you who made a heck of a play was Terrence Mitchell getting off of the block by Patterson. He forces him back to the inside, and there's the rest of the Ducks to be able to hold him short of that first down.
This one takes a Stanford roll, and it'll be stopped at the 13-yard line. We'll try to get him safely home in that top 15 and win the chase. And we get word that Baylor is winning the chase against Kansas State. They put up another one. And that's an incomplete pass. They were working on Hogan's hand down there on the Stanford sideline. And the Ducks, Barner is forced out of bounds after picking up a couple of yards. So here comes 3rd down again with a nice play by Reynolds. Yeah. This is, you cannot give this defense enough credit.
You can. And to hear Derek Mason talk this week about how this is a game that they've wanted. They felt that they've improved athletically in the secondary. They felt that this defense has good knowledge of what they're asking them to do. And for at least 30 minutes so far, they've played very well.
They're down at 8. Far sideline, complete but short of the first down. Terrell with that fair catch at the 39-yard line.
One of the plays earlier that maybe people might either overlooked or didn't see. This is earlier when Mariota got loose on a scramble, and it looked like he might not just run and get some yards, but maybe take it all the way to the house. But safety Devon Carrington actually uses this effort to eventually chase him out of bounds and hold him short of the end zone. They eventually had a goal line stand, stopped him on 4th down, and it led Hogan to get the ball back, and down they went down and scored their only touchdown. But a great effort by Carrington to stop them.
On 1st down, Hogan fires high and incomplete that time as Zak Ertz was coming across in 2nd and 10. Hogan fires into the middle. This will bring up a 3rd down. Toilolo position adjusted on this 3rd and 3. Fires on the slant, coming across, and Ertz breaks the tackle and goes to the 40-yard line where it'll be a 1st down, and we go to run.
However, the Wildcats are 2nd and goal.
And we've got an interception here. It is picked off. So the Ducks, Eric Dorgan, the 3rd safety up. He replaced John Boyette, and then Avery Patterson. He comes up with the interception with 42 seconds remaining in the first half.
Now Hogan, the ball slips out of his hand and goes high over the tight end Zak Ertz's head. And Dargan's just sitting there, almost had to call fair catch for that football. So the Ducks catch a break, see the ball just kind of slide out of his hand, floats over Ertz's head. Dargan sitting back there in center field makes the easy interception.
1st down and 10 now. The Ducks will try to strike as quickly as they can. Low goes down. Mariota dances. Gets it off to a lineman, I believe.
Yeah.
That was Kyle Long. That's Howie Long's son, the starting left guard, who wound up with the ball here. Howie's in attendance with Mom tonight. Of course, this was senior day. Kyle Long was introduced, so we've got there is Howie. Oh man, he looks good in green, huh? Terry Bradshaw and the guys will have to talk to him tomorrow about showing up in all green. The Oakland Raiders will wonder, Howie, where's it? Great Hall of Famer, and doing a terrific job as a broadcaster. And there is Kyle Long, 6'7", 311 pounds. He is a senior, folks, but they are going to appeal and see if they can get an extra year for him. So it is possible that Howie Long will be able to make 2 senior nights in a row. Just saying.
Nice. Yeah. It's great to see Kyle Long. Things work out here in Eugene for him. He is an athletic young man. He was playing tackle. They moved him to guard, and he's really settled in well there at left guard.
There's 3rd down and 7 now for Mariota. Fires middle. That's intercepted. Picked off at the 28-yard line by Stanford.
And he sits back and just reads the quarterback's eyes. He's right here, 17, just settles back in the zone eventually, and I don't think Mariota even saw him. He was looking at Thomas crossing, and I think he lost sight of 17, A.J. Tarpley, who just read his eyes, that led him to the football. Both offenses a little sloppy here at the end of the first half. Who would have ever thought we'd come into Autzen Stadium and it would be 7-7 at halftime?
How many points do you think would be scored tonight?
Combined?
Yeah.
50, 60, 60 points?
Oh, 70.
70? Sure.
You know that's let's go. Let's go down to Heather Cox.
Brent, thanks so much. Coach, after the interception, what's your message to your young quarterback at halftime?
We're just trying to get it down the field with 15 seconds to go, so we don't care if he throws a pick right there. We're just trying to see what we can get. They were dropping into coverage. So.
Yesterday, you emphasized concern over Stanford's linebackers. How do you neutralize them in the second half?
We just got to keep slugging away. They're a good football team. We knew it was going to be a 60-minute game, so we'll come out the second half. We'll get in the ball. The first drive's important for us.
Chip, thank you.
Thank you.
Eugene, Oregon. Pac-12 showdown between the Oregon Ducks and the Stanford Cardinal, and we are tied at 7. So a surprisingly low scoring first half here, Herbie, and you really wonder now if Stanford can go the distance against the Ducks.
That's the challenge. They've been outscored in the second half 59-14 combined the last 2 years, so they know that it's a 60-minute game. The key play, I thought, and I think you would agree, the 4th down call is the play. They had exactly what they wanted. Hogan has Hewitt slipping out of the backfield. He short arms it. The momentum switched. Mariota makes a great throw to the backside. The low comes off to his 3rd, maybe even his 4th progression, and they got the Ducks going a little bit with the momentum.
It's interesting, Herbie, that is exactly what David Shaw told me. He said we can't turn the ball over, whether it's with interceptions or on down, saying that play, when they didn't convert on 4th down, was the key play in the first half, and that's when Oregon got their touchdown. Defensively, he said we've got to do a better job really filling in those gaps, and he said simply their quarterback is special. We've got to bottle him up in the second half.
Heather, you look a little dry down there as we start the second half.
I don't know about that. Looks are deceiving.
Stanford, remember, won the toss and took the football, so the Ducks will have it to start the second half. Here comes DeAnthony Thomas coming out. He's got to look out. He's in deep trouble, and waits, picks a seam, but then he's crushed.
And Hogan making his first start on the road as a redshirt freshman, for the most part, managing the game, doing very, very well for himself. Marcus Mariota, you just have that feeling that he's always on the verge of exploding. A decent first half, but at the bottom, Kenyon Barner, only 15 yards rushing for the Ducks.
That was Lancaster, a linebacker who unloaded on DeAnthony, and they come right back with the quarterback keeping it. And again, they did not score after that run. You weren't with us. Stanford's defense stopped them after that 77-yarder. Now here's Mariota on the move again, and he picks up a first down before he's out of bounds. Outstanding athlete from St. Louis High School in Honolulu, a school that has produced so many great college football players.
That's the risk you take when you send the blitz with A.J. Tarpley and he doesn't get home. The linebackers, that time we were trying to see Trent Murphy at 6'6", 260 make a play in space. Too tough.
Barner stretching to the left. So there is the What a family right there. There's his father, mom, bundled up there with a blanket, and younger brother to the right of her. And of course, when you come from Honolulu, this is just a touch crisp here tonight in Eugene. To Barner again, and down he goes. As A.J. Tarpley, has he been active? He's had an interception at the end of the first half, made several fine open field tackles.
He gets off this block. He's been doing it all night, really all year for this defense. So much attention paid to Scove and Thomas and Murphy. I said earlier, I think A.J. Tarpley at this point in his career, kind of an unsung hero, perfect form, sheds his block, and then wraps up the ball carrier.
Out of Plymouth, Minnesota. Stanford team from all over the country. Now Barner trying to stretch the defense out, and he will not.
Brett, watch him set the edge on this. That's what we talked all week. Can Stanford set the edge as a defense, contain the speed of Oregon? Carter as a corner was not going to allow the Oregon back to get outside of him. He does a great job of pushing it back inside, and not only that, he makes the tackle.
Beautiful punt. Terrell from the 28-yard line, and he is down. Fumble, loose ball, Ducks jump on it. Oregon ball, first down and 10.
Now the mistakes. Terrell this time trying to make something happen. He may be down. They're going to take another look at this. The linebacker, Derek Malone, jumped on top of it. They might want to take another peek at this to see if his elbow might have been down or the knee is down before the ball comes out. Yeah, that right knee is down, looked like anyway, before that football came out. They may catch a break.
So it is definitely under review. It's sort of interesting during the halftime intermission. The replay fellas were walking outside, Herbie, and they said, well, it's been very quiet here in the first half. Not so quiet right now. I mean, they've got a big decision to make in a tie football game right now, is to see that right knee does appear to be down. I would agree with that.
After review, the runner was down at the 30-yard line prior to losing possession of the ball. It will be first down for the receiving team at the 30-yard line.
Press coverage by Aliotti, the defensive coordinator. The corners are up snug. Here comes Stephon Taylor. What a good-looking running back he is.
8 men up at the line of scrimmage, and that's feast or famine. You're either going to do your job and get him for a short gain or a loss, or you're not. Again, Ryan Hewitt with an outstanding block. The right side of that offensive line locks up on their man. And Taylor, all he needs is a little bit of a crease with the patience and vision and power that he has. Great way to start this drive.
Taylor slips away from the linebacker Alonzo.
Michael Clay, as the ball is being snapped, are running downhill to stop Taylor. That's when you're going to see the Stanford coaches start calling the play action game.
Second down at 11. On the move, drops it off to Taylor. And Taylor is wrestled down at the 45-yard line. Third down and 8. Firing in underneath, no first down. Stanford forced a punt. That was terrific defense by Brian Jackson again. Well, you remember when Oregon won the Rose Bowl? That's right. The day after that, Nick gave up chewing tobacco. He's been pretty much a lifetime chewer. He quit cold turkey. But he said, now I'm the most hydrated coach in America. Walks around with a water bottle. Instead of chewing tobacco, he's always sipping that water.
Yeah, anybody who can cash in the water or the chew for the water, he'll take that any day.
Isn't that the truth? DeAnthony is back deep, going to let this one go, and it goes out of bounds. Stanford 7, Oregon 7. Ducks favored by 3 touchdowns. And we continue Dr. Pepper's road to the conference championships, and you can see what a difference it has made. The comparison as his Stanford defense, and it is anchored by a young man who's not getting a whole lot of credit, but we're going to talk about him. He's number 99. He's the nose man. He just shaded over, and as he did that, Kenyon Barner exploded for 9 yards behind the blocking.
And Stevens and also Josh Morrow kind of slanting to the right, guessing wrong that time.
Now that time they did not. And then Barner did the rest. But Terrence Stevens has been causing the middle of that offensive line all kinds of problems. If you remember the triple overtime a year ago, won by Andrew Luck in Stanford, it was Stevens who jarred that ball loose, which was recovered in the end zone in overtime for a Stanford win. He's a major nose tackle. Play action. Mariota fires back to the middle. And a beautiful catch by the tight end, Colt Lyerla.
It's amazing to see the patience that he has as just a young quarterback in this system. He doesn't panic when his primary receiver is not there.
Almost intercepted.
When Murphy drops back in coverage, I think he was thinking Murphy, big Trent Murphy at 6'6", might be collapsing down. He just kind of sits there with Lyerla and goes up. Now he's 6'6". Climbed the ladder there, shows you what kind of athlete he is there.
And that time, Grassu, the center, did a great job of cutting the nose man. And that is some battle in the pit. Mariota high and incomplete, and it'll be third down. Now Stevens, for example, is from Maryland. Look at that push that they got on that, and he gets a pass off for a first down to Murphy again. Fires to the far side. Murphy, and there is a penalty flag.
So maybe if they had enough.
After the catch, personal foul, leg whip, offense number 11. 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
That's a wide receiver, Addison.
Yeah.
That's a freshman.
A freshman out of
Texas,
freshman.
and a fine prospect, and he was guilty of the leg whip. And this is a very costly penalty as it brings the ball back to the 33, and the Ducks have made for them uncharacteristically here in Autzen numerous mistakes here tonight. They have shot themselves in the foot several times. And the down marker has to move, so clear across the field, the head linesman
Anything that
comes
slows
back over to get that marker moved. And now we're still trying to clear up.
Anything that slows down this Oregon offense frustrates these fans. They want the ball snapped. Let's go.
The foul occurred during the previous play. The previous play was third down. We will be replaying third down.
It's a first down play on that last one, confirmed by our statistician.
I don't know how third down came even to play. There's first and 10.
There is the mark on the field. You can see it right there. It says 1st and 10. So there's no question about
the previous
this.
Play was first down. We will be replaying first down.
And Irish fans are starting to celebrate. Mariota keeps it. Tries to get it back to a manageable second down here before Richards can bring the quarterback down.
Well, the way Stanford's penetrating and locking in to Kenyon Barner and DeAnthony Thomas, it puts more and more on Marcus Mariota's ability to run and throw tonight.
He's going to throw this time. He's going to drop it off to Kenyon Barner, and Barner steps for the first down.
Out in the flat. Break the coverage here. Momentum actually to nickelback. He's coming up here to make the play. He should have been out in the flat.
Here they come now. They want the up-tempo the rest of the way on this. Skov powers through on Barner and throws him for a loss.
He's doing a good job that time. A big part of clogging up that middle of what Oregon's trying to do in the inside of their running game.
DeAnthony Thomas swinging to the left, beats Skov, gets back outside, and he's down at the 40, and A.J. Tarpley can move. One of the other things that I'm impressed by him. Here is third down and 4 now for the Ducks. Wide open. Lyerla for the first down at the 26-yard line.
Nice touch throw here by Mariota. He throws it over Tarpley, and Lyerla is an athletic guy who can get behind the linebackers, and he does it there.
They set the screen on both sides of the field. They flash it to the left and Lowe. Lowe is forced out of bounds, but a big gain. They used that play, and it was not successful in the first half, but they come back with it here. This is part of the game plan. Set 2 screen passes with linemen out to the right and to the left. Second down and 4. Mariota complete. First down, Huff. DeAnthony Thomas, play action. Mariota fires, incomplete. Now Mariota checks over at the sideline. DeAnthony Thomas. Chip knows he's got 10 seconds to deal with. They get the play called. Inside handoff to Anthony Thomas. Oregon leads for the first time tonight. Maldonado ricocheted the last one. This one a little cleaner. Do you like the Oregon Pinots? Well, that's the King of State winery here. 1,000 acres, and they make some great wine southwest of Eugene, Oregon. So we're looking down on the scene here in Autzen, Oregon. And the Ducks wound up in a dogfight with Stanford, but they have taken their first lead 14-7 with 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Fielded at the 5-yard line by Wright. And Wright scrambles out to the 27-yard line. Herbie.
What a job Oregon did getting the football, and they needed to come up with a drive. Marcus Mariota did a nice job of being able to distribute the football, at times making some runs, but a lot of times just trying to find his skill people out in space. And Mariota also did, I think, what a lot of people have seen all year, and that's just settling down in the pocket and letting his athletes around him make plays. And what a jump cut there by DeAnthony Thomas, sliding between the center and the right guard. And the Ducks get that lead, 95-yard drive.
Empty backfield. They flash outside to Young, and he's to the 40-yard line, and there's a fumble. Battle for the football. Oregon recovers, and look out. Ekpreolamu recovered it, Herbie.
He sure did. He does a good job of fighting that football loose. In fact, Ray, it's not even close. Young's not even close to being down. Oregon's defense fighting to get the football. He puts his helmet right on the ball. It comes out. And this is where Oregon gets you. They get a touchdown, they get a turnover, and now here comes the tempo of Marcus Mariota and this Ducks offense.
Stretches to the left, and he crosses the 35-yard line before Sko makes a stop for the Cardinal.
They put so much pressure on these linebackers because they flow to the perimeter. They flow outside. They get you thinking about things outside, and then they'll run the ball right up into the middle.
Wide open. They're going to give him the first down. I thought for a moment that the spot might not be good enough, but it is. Just across the 30-yard line for the Ducks. Pump fake. And they've got another first down in the red zone this time. And Darrell Hawkins now making an impact on the game. And there is a penalty flag thrown back at the 35. We'll see if this is
holding. Offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
That's the right guard, Ryan Clanton. First down and 20. Mariota comes back to the far side. Second down and 16. In trouble. Eludes the rush for the time being. It's deflected. Incomplete.
They've been chasing him. When they get him outside of the pocket, Brent, there's Murphy right there. Marlowe starts it. Murphy doesn't give up on the play, but there's our guy, Tarpley again. The ball bounced off. It looked like the left shoulder pad and went straight up into the air. The Cardinal almost came up with the interception.
His passer rating on third down. There's the handoff to Barner. And he is stopped. And let us see if Chip Kelly opts for a field goal here on this fourth down. He failed at a couple of fourth downs. Rice puts it down. Off to the right. Is it going to curl? No good. Redshirt freshman Kevin Hogan handing off to Stephon Taylor, and Stephon Taylor picks up 7. And here the number 2 team in the country. Oregon leads Stanford by a touchdown. Number 3 Notre Dame already wanted to throw off his hands. Toilolo now.
Brendan, it looked like the umpire that time may have gotten in the way of Toilolo trying to catch the football. He's right there in the middle of it. I don't know. Trying to bail him out a little bit.
He should send you a thank you note. 3rd down. Roll the pocket. Hogan on the move. Fires. Incomplete. Defense by Brian Jackson.
Well, these safeties had to step up in this game with Avery Patterson out, and they played well. Jackson comes in late and knocks that ball away. Zak Ertz had both his hands on the ball. It's their top wide receiver, top tight end on the team. Has it, has the first down, and Jackson at 5'10" knocks it away from Ertz, who is 6'6".
Dropped. And a penalty flag comes flying as he picked it up at the 18-yard line, but the field judge threw the flag.
Kick. Personal foul. Number 1 of the receiving team. Penalty will be enforced. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
And I happen to be watching Josh Huff live. He went deep into the Stanford bench, making a block, and after he got him deep, the defender deep into the bench, he went after him again.
Explaining the situation over on the side, it was against him. That backs the Ducks up inside the 10-yard line. DeAnthony going in motion, and they're going to throw to him in the flat. And he's going to get forced out of bounds by Jordan Richards. And Richards is a safety from Folsom High School, California. They did certainly on their first touchdown back in the first half. So it is now 2nd down and 10. And Barner running wide is forced out at the 11-yard line. Crowd wants a flag.
Surprised they didn't get the call there. Terrence Brown, Brent, went well out of bounds here, making this tackle. It's one thing to make, you got to let go at some point. I mean, he's 5 yards out of bounds and still trying to make a tackle on Barner.
3rd down. And now it is 4th down. No interference is the call against Terrence Brown again.
Change of direction is big for any corner, and Brown does a good job of anticipating this, expecting a shorter route, comes back and knocks that football away. The crowd thinking his left hand got in there, but that's pretty good coverage by Terrence Brown.
Now, Terrell is back. Oregon will be punting out of its own end zone. So Jackson Rice is backed up. Stanford down a touchdown. It's returnable. Up the middle to the 49-yard line. In the 3rd quarter. Pressure coming. Taylor to the 44-yard line on 1st down. Hewitt is in front of the running back. The fullback look. Here comes Taylor behind him. Big hole on the left side. And he manages to pick up a very big 1st down.
Kevin Dancer, he's kind of setting this up. Goes to the right. Knows he's eventually coming back. The right guard pulled around Kevin Dancer. The flow of this offense with Hogan feels better under center. They can run the ball. They can run their power game. They can go to the play action pass off of it.
And 10. Draw play. Thrown for a loss.
Too slow developing against the speed of this Oregon defense. And, you know, it's easy to say from up here, boy, he grabbed him, locked on by the wristband there. Whatever it takes to pull him down. But play action on 1st and 10 with an aggressive defense running downhill can really not only pay off, but it could slow down Oregon's defense.
2nd and 12. Patterson goes out far wide to the right. He throws outside to Montgomery. Montgomery's 3rd catch of the night. They're going to come the running play, and it breaks open for Taylor. Fumble! The Ducks say they've got it, and they do.
Ekpre Olomu again forces this fumble. He did it earlier when Kelsey Young had the football, and this time he's involved. And this is a rare saying you do not see Stephon Taylor fumble the football very much. He did it last week in the game, and now we see it again. Contact, ball comes out. The Ducks once again capitalize on an opportunity. Third turnover tonight for Stanford.
That was textbook. Ekpre Olamu just got into him, and now Mariota comes up with it. On the move. Incomplete, second down and 10. Barner to the 25-yard line, and here comes about a 3rd and 5. Well, the Dr. Pepper road to the BCS championships continues with the number 2 team in the nation, Oregon, leading by a touchdown, and the number 1 team losing to Baylor. And a reminder to log on to Ford.com/Ultimate Combo for your chance to win a new 2013 F-150 with EcoBoost. Handoff into the middle of the line here on 3rd down, and they come up just a little bit short. Fair catch at the 24-yard line. Kansas State in deep trouble, down 45-24. Notre Dame safely in with a 38-0 rout in South Bend. If things now hold, Oregon and Notre Dame will move to 1 and 2, and the SEC will be in hot pursuit.
Western Carolina, Georgia Southern, Jacksonville State, Sam Houston State, Wofford.
Yeah, come on, SEC, schedule a 9th conference game.
Please.
That was an embarrassing slate today for the best conference in the country. 1st down and 10. Handoff now to Taylor. Stephon barges out to the 30-yard line. And, of course, while we're talking about the SEC, you know how hard they're pulling right now for Stanford tonight, for USC next week, for Oregon State next week, and then the Pac-12 championship game if the Ducks continue to win. Because the SEC is only 1 loss away, if the things hold up down at Waco, 1 loss away from getting a team back into the BCS championship. So everybody hang on now. Here we go. Taylor for the Ducks. And he is short of the 1st down.
This Oregon defense has played very well. I mean, they're active. They've been depleted last week. Their top 5 defensive linemen didn't play. They lost Avery Patterson, the leader of their secondary, a week ago for the rest of the year. Eric Dargan has stepped up for him. They've got 5 healthy defensive backs. And so far tonight, holding Stanford to just the 7 points.
Wright is in as a running back for the Cardinal. He'll be behind Hewitt. Hewitt gets it for a 1st down call.
They missed out on some opportunities. This is a 4th down call with a 7-0 lead. He short arms and misses a wide open receiver. There's some turnovers as well. They had 4 turnovers last week in a game against Oregon State. They talked about how important it was in protecting the ball. 3 turnovers tonight, but even with all that being said, they're only down 1 possession.
Taylor back in as the running back for the Cardinal. Hogan going to take off. Stephon Taylor's a heck of a running back, and here it comes. Dancing to the outside. Barging and muscling to the 45. Taylor again. And he picks up 2-3 yards as we check it down below with Heather Cox.
Well, Brent, you were talking about Andrew Luck. Luck actually called David Shaw on Sunday. He was in the meeting room with the offensive coaches. Shaw put him on speaker, and Andrew told the coaches that he watched Kevin Hogan the night before and felt like he was watching himself in his first year at Stanford. Noticed a lot of similarities in the way he played, as well as the plays Stanford was calling to help him succeed. And then once a coach, always a coach. David Shaw finished the conversation by reminding Luck to slide a little bit more, not put himself into harm's way.
You know, Heather, the director of the offense here, Pep Hamilton, is named in honor of Andrew Luck. The Andrew Luck director of offense, Pep Hamilton, and that is a position that's been endowed. There was a great fan of Stanford who wanted to honor Andrew. Andrew didn't want anything to do with it. But the offensive coordinator here is the Andrew Luck director of offense. And now Andrew is very proud of what they've accomplished, and I'm sure he's hoping and keeping his fingers crossed that Pep Hamilton there in the middle can calling up plays to finish this drive off. Logan is back, fires sideline, and sliding out for a first down. That is Ertz, the tight end.
They flex both their tight ends out. Ertz to the right, Cololo to the left. Got him isolated one-on-one, and he just puts this ball on the money. Ertz coming back. He throws it low and away where only Ertz can make the play on it. Good job and an advantage there in a mismatch against Terrence Mitchell.
Coming back to Taylor. Got back just beyond the original line of scrimmage. So hard for the first man to bring down. Stephon Taylor, who came in with numbers comparable to Kenyon Barner. And he continues to put up really big numbers.
Yeah, they always feel like if they can get him 25 to 30 touches, they're going to be in a good position to win the football game.
They're going to be looking to throw this ball. Instead, he pitches it to the outside. And again, Taylor battles his way.
Well, you better be ready. You're a young quarterback. You're on the road. Crowd's a factor. Deion Jordan, an all-conference guy, closing in on you. You better deal it and deal it fast. And there's the leg drive again from Taylor, breaking through some arm tackles and picking up valuable yards.
Here comes Jumbo. Is going to come in as the running back in this situation on 3rd down and 3. Pressure. They stop right. Not going to get there, and it will be 4th down. Interesting call not to use Taylor in that particular situation. Instead, come with the sophomore from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Again, they brought the 2 linebackers, and I agree with you, Brent. You wonder if fatigue might have been a factor. They've been using him so much on this drive because there's a big difference in that leg drive from Taylor to what you see from Wright.
Got it away. No good. It appears as though the Fighting Irish will be 1 win away next week from playing for a BCS championship. That's right, as Baylor continues to pull away from Kansas State. And now the number 2 team, Barner, and if they can hang on here, they'll move to number 1. But Herbie, next week going into the Coliseum, who would have ever expected that Notre Dame would be undefeated and a win away from the BCS championship? I know I'm a little bit ahead of myself, but if the Irish win next week, if Kansas State loses, you cannot deny them a spot.
Oh, no, not at all. And something to keep an eye on, and we'll have to maybe get a report later tonight. Matt Barkley left the Rose Bowl today with his right arm injured.
No
and
question.
you wonder how serious that injury might be and how that might have an, oh, yeah, of course, but how that might have an impact down the road in the game next Saturday.
But here, of course, Oregon under the gun, and the SEC hoping that a couple of these fellas fall. Mariota on the scramble. He'll throw this ball out of bounds, and here comes your 3rd down and 11 now. The Cardinal hanging in.
This is where I think DeAnthony Thomas has to grow as a receiver. Watch how he runs himself into coverage. I mean, you're trying to just break it down right there, settle down right there, right in the hole of the zone. If he does that, Mariota has an easy target and a first down. There, he just ran himself right into coverage, and Mariota didn't have anywhere to go with the football.
3rd down and 11 for Mariota and the Duck offense. Middle's clogged. He's hit. Down he goes at the 30-yard line. And the Ducks are forced to punt.
Well, these guys lead the nation in sacks for a reason. They have played remarkably well all night. Derek Mason has got to be fired up. Trent Murphy coming off the edge from one side. Chase Thomas coming on the other. They get you to 3rd down and long. They just pin their ears back and use their speed and that aggressive attitude. They got the ball back to this young freshman.
Oh, that's a beautiful punt. Drives Terrell back to the 13-yard line. And he scrambles to the 22-yard line. The Duck is all fired up. 5 minutes away from being number 1. Stanford repairs for Barner on that far sideline, and now Stanford here, Herbie. They need to come alive.
Yeah, 6.5 minutes. Stay within their game plan and just continue to do what they do.
And here is Stephon Taylor in
That was a bad spot by the officials. His knee was down at about the 24-yard line, and they've marked it at the 26, which Stanford will take. Chip Kelly's fired up on the other sideline talking to an official.
And Hogan looks to the middle. His tight end is tied up. Has to drop off to the safety valve. Toilolo for the first down. That was very impressive by the freshman. The man he was looking for was tied up in the middle of the field, and he came back down on his read.
He sure did. And Brent, he just stayed in there. It's rare to see athletic guys who have been able to rely on athletic ability throughout their whole career to come into college football and show poise in a pocket in this kind of environment. We've seen both these guys do that tonight. That was a great play by Hogan.
So it brings up a 1st and 10 as a result from the 33-yard line. There's a handoff back to Stefan. Stefan looking for daylight.
They have done a remarkable job of having a balanced attack for Stanford. I mean, Oregon knows Taylor's coming, but they've done enough to just try to slow down Oregon's defense.
2nd and 2, and Hogan slips, regains his balance, moves left, fires complete. First down. What a save by the quarterback going to Zak Ertz for the first down. You believe
I'm watching this and I'm thinking, come on, kid, you got to throw this away. He escapes this, almost loses balance. Alonzo's in the air. I thought he was going to be down there. Then I thought he might just throw it away. Not only does he find Ertz, Brent, look at the location of the football. Up high where Ertz at 6'6" can make a play on it, keeps the play alive with his mobility, finds his go-to man, Ertz. First down, and they're in Ducks territory.
At the 47-yard line. Here comes Stefan Taylor picking his way to the 43-yard line on that first down run. And I saw, Herbie, that Danzer did break the huddle, so he is back in at right guard. There was movement.
Free play here.
Got an offside. Hogan comes downfield. It is complete to Ertz, and Ertz will be out of bounds near the 20-yard line.
Defense, number 96. Penalty is declined. Play results in the first down.
Brent, maximum protection. Oregon brought the house. They brought the linebackers. Stanford kept Taylor in. They kept Hewitt in. See the linebackers coming. They do a good job of giving him the time. He takes advantage of the free play and puts the ball again right on the money.
Herbie, how many people do you think are watching in Tuscaloosa?
Oh, my God.
First down and 10 now for the Cardinal. Here's a handoff to Taylor again. Taylor down the line of scrimmage, and that was another fine stop by Michael Clay. Herbie, you've talked about Clay and Alonzo, two fine linebackers.
Very active, done a good job tonight. They've been attacking downhill, and I think they've been rolling the dice a bit, trying to come down on 1st and 10. Look at them. I mean, they literally in a sprinter stance. Clay is almost at full speed by the time Taylor gets the football in his hands. That's what's made it tough on him tonight, is the penetration from the linebackers.
2nd down and 10. Hogan on a short drop. Fires. Oh, baby. It was almost picked off by you-know-who. That young man, Ekpre Olamu, who's had a heck of a game for him, and he might have gone the distance, Herbie.
And they've hit this a couple times earlier. He has inside leverage. He was anticipating that the entire way, and he almost timed that up just perfectly. And because they went to the well one too many times, that time Oregon almost took it to the house.
Ertz became a pretty good defensive player in that situation with that big paw.
Knocked that baby down.
Now 3rd down and 10 for the Cardinal.
But this time they move him to the bottom of the screen. He's isolated against Terrence Mitchell.
They bring a safety over to help if he goes in that direction. He looks at him, and he's got him again. And he looks like he's just short of a first down. That brings up a 4th down with 2:25. You got to go for it.
Got to go for it, even though they have 3 timeouts. There he's going to use one of them right now. As you were calling this, you're right. They had Mitchell right there, but there's a safety behind it. He aborts his route, comes back to the football, and Hogan isn't a dummy. Even though he's a freshman, he gets in trouble. He knows who to look up, and he finds the man, Zak Ertz, again.
And the big fullback, Hewitt, crushes ahead for the first down. Boy, it looked like there was just a little movement on the right side of that
I thought Cameron Fleming, the right tackle, Brett, may have jumped just a little bit early. And I'm with you. I love Hewitt. I think he's a heck of a player. Taylor is a workhorse.
He's back in now.
Get him out there.
It's first down and goal. They blitz Hogan, fires end zone. Ertz hangs on. Oh, say, no, they said it was down. Oh, what an effort over there by Zak Ertz.
I don't know if the ball ever touched the ground. Now, maybe by the time he possessed it, his back did, but did the football ever touch the ground? I don't see how it touched the ground. I mean, his helmet did.
Well, we know
How'd you like to review this one?
We'll take another look.
When does he?
His feet are down. Doesn't have control. Now he does.
The ball never touches the ground.
But the body never touches the ground.
Right. And maybe that's what he was pointing to.
The body rolls over the top and the shoulders go down out of bounds, and that's what the back judge is signaling.
Yeah, he's saying that the back of his jersey,
now
the back of his helmet.
And watch the body.
Yep.
There's the body. All right, shoulder now.
Wow. Now it's about when does he have possession, because he's bobbling this as he comes down. So let's assume even if the right shoulder is down, when does he have the football?
What an effort. Regardless of what is ruled here.
Look at Ekpreolum getting his right hand in there and knock that ball away. To me, this is such a gray area. Usually the call on the field is going to stand here. I mean, there's nothing definitive that makes you say, absolutely, they should overturn it. Just based on what we're seeing, just because we're looking at it in slow motion. You still can't really tell when his right shoulder touches, if it is in bounds, did he have possession?
I believe there's an overturn here. The ball's already been moved before the announcement.
After review, the receiver had control of the ball when he returned to the ground with his right shoulder. Touchdown.
I happen to agree with that.
Wow.
I thought the right shoulder hit the ground before he went out of bounds. And in fairness to the angle, I don't know if the official could see the right angle, but watch. Right there. I thought it went down a fraction of a second.
You can make an argument for it or against it, depending on who you're a fan of.
On the money.
Gutsy call by the guys upstairs to turn that one over.
No question.
Gutsy. This is as gray as it gets. Let's just remember and appreciate the effort by Ertz.
Oh, that
possession of the football. There you get a really good look at it.
That's a beautiful look at it.
Yeah.
There was daylight between the left shoulder and the out of bounds. This is DeAnthony. Picks it up at the 6-yard line after bobbling it. Far side, and he'll be out of bounds. And a reminder to stay tuned for the Ford wrap-up after this game.
Oregon with plenty of time with the style of offense that they run. What Chip Kelly likes to do. I mean, this is their bread and butter. This is what they want.
They do not have as many yards tonight as Stanford. We should point that out. It's 408, 393. Marcus Mariota, the quarterback, and first down, looking far side and incomplete. It'll be second down and 10 now.
He had Addison off to the right there, made the right read, and Addison just let the ball get through his hands. The ball's thrown a little bit low, but you know, every snap at this point is big for Oregon. You can't afford to drop passes. You can't afford to miss passes when you have open receivers.
Second down and 10. And Barner.
Play by Henry Anderson again.
Mariota back. Play action. Gonna lob it down that far sideline. Incomplete. Lyerla went diving. There's a penalty flag.
Pass interference, defense, number 29. 15-yard
Brent, watching it looked like they were hand-checking one another. Maybe he got him early. Here they are at the top. ISO gives him a little push. Hooks him there. Yeah, I mean, you could see there on the second, the right hand there locks in with his arm, but you see that a lot of times let go.
First down and 10. And they fire for another first down, I believe, on that throw that time. He comes to Hawkins. Alejandro, now Donato. They're starting to get loose.
Another play by Henry Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson's been a good player here. Second down and 8. Mariota handed it off, and that was read just beautifully.
49 does a good job of using his hands, fights off the block. Just The entire game, they have just held their own up front.
Those helmets show you what kind of a battle it's been here tonight, too.
That sums up their season.
3rd down and 9. Inside of a minute. Mariota going long. Incomplete. Richards with coverage, and now they come down to the 4th down play. Terrell's going to hope it goes into the end zone, and it does. It'll come out on the 20-yard line. Hogan takes a snap, hands to Taylor. Taylor swings to the right, and he'll be brought down, but there was a penalty flag. Take the knee and run this out.
Stanford has being able to play the way they did, holding Oregon only 7 points in the second half, getting this thing in overtime in Autzen Stadium.
They lost that heartbreaker at Notre Dame 20-13, but they beat Arizona in overtime 54-48. Oregon, the Ducks have not even been close to an overtime this season.
And last drive was just remarkable effort by Kevin Hogan, keeping plays alive, making some big throws. They're down by 7. He dialed up Zak Ertz a number of times to be able to get the ball down close, and then this is one tremendous effort. And if the Cardinals go on to win this game, this is going to be a play that people are going to be talking about for a long time.
Okay, fellas, before I toss the coin, we're going to have an overtime. Your choices are different in overtime, so it's important that you listen. If you win the coin toss, your choices are offense, defense, or the end of the field at which we're going to play. All right? We understand what our options are, okay? We're only going to have one coin toss. After this, every time we go between overtime periods, the choices will alternate back and forth. This will be the only coin toss, okay? Offense, defense, or end of the field. Stanford, you're the visiting team. You get to call the toss. What do you call?
Tails.
Okay, he's called tails. And it is tails. You want to be on defense? Which end of the field do you want to play at? Okay. If you'll step over here, Oregon.
Kansas State has just lost. Oregon needs a win. Notre Dame will move up. And Mariota is out of bounds, taking a little bit of a loss on the 1st down play here.
Yeah, they really, the defensive line, again, the penetration, fighting through double teams, good coverage downfield. And it's rare to see Marcus Mariota not in rhythm in the pocket for Chip Kelly when it comes to throwing the football. But it's been time and time again tonight. He's been flushed, nowhere to go with the ball, and he just ended up this time stepping out of bounds.
This front 7 has presented so many problems here tonight. Mariota, and he's forced out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down and long as Trent Murphy makes still another defensive play.
Here's his read, Murphy. Now watch what Murphy does. He's 6'6", 260 pounds. That's his read. He comes off of him, tries to get around him, but that gives you an idea what kind of speed Murphy has to be able to cut him off at the corner. Great play by 93.
Play action. Tosses downfield, incomplete, and it's 4th down. Maldonado missed one earlier. Here comes a 41-yard attempt. Going to the left off the upright. No good.
Huge 3rd down that Oregon fans may be talking about for a while. The play action fake. Here is Huff. He gives a little shoulder fake here and goes here, and Marcus Mariota throws the ball to the outside.
Hewitt and Taylor are the running backs for Hogan. Stephon Taylor cuts right. Picks up a couple of yards before he's thrown back, and it'll be 2nd down. A timeout has been called by Shaw.
Timeout, Stanford.
Here's some of the coaches down there saying it's okay. Stay calm.
The number 1 team has just lost. Kansas State was beaten by Baylor, and Oregon in danger of losing. And if that happens, it will be Notre Dame jumping to #1 in the rankings. Maldonado had this field goal that hit the upright.
This is what makes the BCS so interesting, is every region has something at stake. Every region is watching right now because they're concerned about their own team.
So you'd have to go back to 2007. Play action. Hogan. And fumble! Loose ball, battle for the football. Herbie, was it Wilkes?
It was Khalil Wilkes, 65. The lineman came in there, and well, you had Oregon jerseys all over the football here. Look at the effort by 65. He gets in there and somehow gets the football. It bounced off of Michael Clay.
They're trying to get Jumbo on the field. 3rd down and 8. 5 seconds for the freshman quarterback. Got it off. Taylor cuts back, stays on the left hash, short of the 1st down, and Jordan Williamson will trot out.
The left hash. Maybe he doesn't like the middle.
Timeout called by Chip Kelly. 37-yarder. Long enough for sure and good. Stanford takes down Oregon. #1 and #2 both lose for the first time since 2007.
Thanks so much, Coach. What was your reaction when the kick by Jordan Williamson went through the uprights?
You know, I was just thinking to myself, Jordan needs this. He's so talented. I mean, he makes 60-yard field goals daily. When he keeps his head down and he's smooth, he's as good as any kicker in the country. He's working on his consistency, but this is what he needed tonight. Andrew
Luck famously said, "We have an Oregon problem." This is a team you guys have struggled with. How did you solve the Oregon problem?
First and foremost, defense. Coach Mason had a great game plan. Our guys played extremely hard. You know, we had a quarterback that was young that still made some mistakes, but he played extremely hard. Stephon made some mistakes. He played hard. I can't say enough about Zak Ertz and our offensive line making this thing happen tonight.
Coach, how important is this win to this program?
It's very important because we want to say that we can beat anybody that we play. No matter what they're ranked, no matter what we're ranked. What everybody else says doesn't matter. It's all up to us. When we play our best, we can play with anybody in the country. And know what's funny? We can still get better. We can play so much better. We cut down our turnovers. This might not even be a close game.
And this is a much different team than we saw a few weeks ago. How has the personality of this team changed with the quarterback change?
Well, we've always been a confident bunch. We say it's all about how we play, not who we play. We don't get over or blown up about who we play. It's all about how we play. Our guys played extremely hard. Our quarterback's mobility, you saw it a couple times tonight, was huge. We got to take care of the football so much better. But our guys played with a lot of confidence. They played really well.
David, go enjoy the win.
Thank you.
Brent?
We're going to take you back to one of the plays of the year. And this was tight end Zak Ertz. Instant replay, spent several minutes looking at this over and over and over again, and they ruled correctly that the right shoulder touched the ground while he had possession of the ball, and that took it to overtime. And then it was Jordan Williamson sliding one inside the left upright. And now Stanford, which wrote a remarkable story here tonight, they take dead aim at the championship of the Pac-12 South.
I don't even know where to begin. I mean, first, as far as Chip Kelly and Oregon, a tough loss for them at home, especially at Autzen Stadium. But to me, the story is about David Shaw and Stanford. We talked earlier that it's the first time since 1926-30 that they've had 4 straight years of winning 8 games or more. What a remarkable way to really continue to build on that momentum.
Back we go to Heather.
Thanks so much. Joined by Kevin Hogan. Kevin, this was your first ever road start, just a freshman. How on earth did you come in here and pull out a win?
We try to play our style of football. I mean, this is a tough environment. Their fans go crazy for their team. Oregon's a great team. Their defense played well. We found a way to survive our mistakes in the end and pull it out.
Herbie, some final thoughts.
We would have thought when we woke up this morning that the world of college football would be upside down yet again.
That's why we love this game
awesome.
so much.
Unreal.
Once again, our final score. Stanford wins an instant classic. 17-14 in overtime. Thanks for watching ESPN Saturday Night Football on ABC. For Heather Cox, Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Brett Musburger. So long, everybody.